still missing. We have a quorum, right? All right, will the clerk please call the roll?
Calling the roll for the Monday, July 31st, 2023 Board of Control meeting. It is 11:05 a.m. We have Councilmember Dale Miller,
Here.
Levine Ross serving as an alternate for Purnell Jones Jr.,
Here.
Nicole English serving as an alternate for Mike Dever,
Here.
Mike Chambers, Fiscal Officer, serving as chairman,
Here.
Catherine Tkachuk serves as an alternate for Paul Porter.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from July 24th. I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Nicole English. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The minutes are approved. Is there any public comment?
No public comment?
All right, let's move on to our first item.
First item, BC 2023-471, Department of Public Works, recommending an award and enter into a purchase order with Cuff Leitner Automotive Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $78,713 for the purchase of one replacement new, never titled 2023 Dodge Ram 4500 truck for the Road and Bridge Division.
Good morning, everyone. Tom Pavich, Public Works. This first item, we're looking for approval of the purchase orders with Cuff Leitner Automotive. It's for a new Dodge Ram pickup truck. It's not just a standard pickup truck. It has a utility body to be used by Road and Bridge Division. This was a formal bid, went to 11 vendors. We had 2 bids submitted. Cuff Leitner was lowered by $679. This is replacing a 2003 Ford F-450, which will go in Gov Deals.
Okay, thank you, Tom.
Let the record reflect that Catherine Gallagher, serving as an alternate for Chris Renee, County Executive, has entered the room.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Are there any questions? Councilman?
Yes. Where did you say the vehicle being replaced is?
It's a 2003 Ford F-450 utility truck. It's a 2003. It's got high miles. It's starting to rust out. We'll put it on Gov Deals.
And so what are you gonna do with it?
It'll go on Gov Deals up for auction.
Okay. 20 years old, that's, you've gotten your use out of that.
We did. We're beginning to start to really replace all the old vehicles now. So
How many miles are on it?
I don't know. I can check though. My guess is with being in the Road and Bridge Division, it's probably exceeding 100,000, but I can double check for you.
I'm sure that it is.
Are there any additional questions? Seeing none, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Miller. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-472, is being amended to correct the dollar amount. Department of Public Works submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in an award recommendation to Tim Lally Chevrolet in the amount not to exceed $54,670.50 for a state contract purchase of one replacement new, never titled 2023 Chevy Tahoe truck for the Sheriff's Office, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, everyone. Tom Pavich again, Public Works. This is requesting approval of a purchase order with Tim Lally. It's for a new 2023 Chevy Tahoe for the Sheriff's Division. This is being procured off of a State of Ohio contract, which, as I always mention, are previously negotiated and or bid out by the state for greater buying power. This is going to replace an older Explorer by the Sheriff's Department, and this particular state contract is for law enforcement vehicles only.
Okay, Tom, thank you again. Are there questions from the board? Seeing none, I'll make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Nicole English.
As amended.
As amended, thank you. All in favor to approve as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved as amended. Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-473, Department of Housing and Community Development, submitting an amendment to a contract with the Legal Aid Society of Cleveland for community outreach and legal services to income-eligible tenants in connection with the Emergency Rental Assistance 2 program for the period June 1st, 2022 through March 31st, 2025, to extend the time period to June 30th, 2025, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $500,000.
Good morning, Sarah Parks Jackson, Housing and Community Development. This is a amendment to the contract we currently have with Legal Aid to provide housing stability services through our Emergency Rental Assistance 2. funding from the U.S. Treasury. It allows legal aid to work with folks whose rent is in arrears or they're having other rental difficulties with their landlord, and they can intercede on their behalf.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Are there any questions from the board? Seeing none, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Levine Ross. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-474, Department of Housing and Community Development submitting an exemption from aggregation on RQ 7775, which will result in an award recommendation to Famicos Foundation in the amount not to exceed $300,000 for housing stability services to income-eligible tenants in connection with the Emergency Rental Assistance 2 program for the period June 1st, 2023 through March 31st, 2025, and submitting a contract with said RFP exemption.
Sarah Parks Jackson, Department of Housing and Community Development. This agreement with Famicos Foundation is being brought forward. Today, we had it on an agenda last year and had to pull it. So now we're bringing it forward to provide them with $300,000 of housing, of ERA dollars for housing stability, where they will work with folks and their landlords. They will also assist people in finding rental properties and other housing stability services needed for low to moderate income people.
Thank you. Cheryl, let the record show,
That Meredith Turner has entered the room.
please. Thank you. Are there any questions from the board on this item? Seeing none, then I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Nicole English. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next
Thank
item.
you.
Next item, BC 2023-475, Fiscal Department submitting an RFP exemption which will result in an award recommendation to Mills James Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $14,614.92 for the rental of audio-visual equipment for use at the Cuyahoga County forfeited land sale to be held at the Huntington Convention Center for the period August 25th, 2023 through September 2nd, 2023, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Dominique Tatum, Fiscal Department. This is a purchase order with Mills James. Will be written audio and visual equipment to use at the forfeited land sale, which will be held next month at the Convention Center.
Thank you, Dominique. Are there questions from the board?
Yes. Why does this need to be an exemption? This would seem to be something that a pretty large number of vendors could provide.
It's an exemption because Mills James is the authorized vendor for the Convention Center, so that's who they contract with for the equipment.
Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's a good question, Councilman. I asked the same one, and why wouldn't just do it at the convention center, but this is their deal, their vendor. Are there any additional questions? Seeing none, I will make the motion to approve the item. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item, please.
Next item, BC 2023-476, Department of Purchasing submitting an amendment to a contract with Brinks US, a division of Brinks Incorporated, for armed guard and armored truck services for various county departments for the period January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023, to change the scope of services effective July 1st, 2023, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $6,500.
Catherine Psychiatric presenting on behalf of the Department of Purchasing. This is an amendment to our Armored Guard and Armored Truck Services to add an additional location for pickup for the Sheriff's Commissary.
Thank you, Catherine. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing none, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-477, Department of Information Technology submitting an RFP exemption which will result in an award recommendation to Advisax Technologies LLC in the amount not to exceed $9,413.44 for a joint government cooperative purchase of F5 Big IP maintenance and licenses for the period August 23rd, 2023 through November 20th, 2023, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Dennis Sullivan, Department of IT. These units, this maintenance on this license are needed for 2 units that are still in service That's why they're only needed for 3 months before they cut over to new hardware that's already been purchased. And these F5 are hardware items. They're firewalls for any kind of security solution for any kind of incoming threats.
Thank you, Dennis. Are there questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item's approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-478, Department of Information Technology submitting an RFP exemption which will result in an award recommendation to B&H Photo and Electronics Corporation in the amount not to exceed $5,864.48 for a joint government cooperative purchase of various multimedia production equipment and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Again, Dennis Sullivan, Department of IT. This B&H Photo purchase order for various items, not limited to 2 outdoor stands, outdoor portable lighting, and camera lens being bought off a government co-op through B&H.
Okay, thank you again, Dennis. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing none, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Nicole English. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-479, Department of Information Technology, recommending an award and enter into an agreement with Ohio State University DBA Ornet in the amount not to exceed $10,800 for a purchase of AWS Direct Connect service, effective upon contract signature of all parties for a period of 36 months.
Again, Dennis Sullivan, Department of IT. You may recall a couple meetings ago, we rescinded a PO that was previously approved in late 2022 due to Ornet wanting to put together a matter of understanding, an MOU, and that's what we have done. And I mentioned a couple weeks ago that we had this in the pipeline, and here we are.
Okay, Dennis, are there questions from the board? Seeing none, I will make the motion to approve the item. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item's approved.
Thank you.
Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-480, Department of Human Resources submitting an award and enter into an agreement with the Metro Health System in the amount not to exceed $52,000 for on-site biometric screening services for county employees participating in the wellness program, effective upon agreement signatures of all parties through December 31st, 2023.
Stephen Witt with Human Resources. This is our annual agreement with Metro Health to conduct on-site biometric screenings for employees participating in the wellness program. The $52,000 will allow us to provide these biometric screenings for a little over 1,500 employees. The cost did go up $1. It seems to go up $1 per employee every year. In 2021, we had a little over 1,500 people participate. Last year in 2022, we had a little over 1,000 people participate, so we wanted to make sure we had enough funds to cover all potential employees.
Thank you, Stephen. Are there any questions from the board?
What's the price per employee?
It is $33 per employee.
Okay.
Last year was 32, the year before was 31.
And do we have evidence that the wellness program has a positive impact on our claims experience?
Usually takes
Okay, thank you.
Okay. For the record, that was Alita Moonen, the Director of Organizational Development and Training.
Okay, any additional questions? Make sure you forward it to the clerk. She'll forward it to everybody, the response. Thank you. Seeing no additional questions, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Miller. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-481, Department of Health and Human Services and Department of Development submitting an RFP exemption which will result in various award recommendations to various vendors for reimbursement of employee wage and training expenses in connection with the Skillet program. McGregor Foundation in the amount not to exceed $15,700 for 4 employees for the period August 7, 2023 through October 30th, 2023. ICI Metals Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $5,189 for one employee for the period August 7, 2023 through October 30th, 2023. Anna Maria of Aurora Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $34,456 for 8 employees for the period August 7, 2023 through September 18, 2023, and submitting various purchase orders with said RFP exemption.
Laura Sims for the Department of Development. This is a request to fund 3 programs as part of our Skill Up project.
Okay, Laura, thank you. Are there any questions from the board? See, oh, Councilman.
You're getting off easy, Trevor's not here.
I know.
All right. Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve the item. Is there a second? Seconded by Ms. Levine Ross. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item's approved. Next
Thank you.
item.
Next item, BC 2023-482, Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Children and Family Services, submitting an amendment to a contract with Family First Child Care Center, DBA Family First Village, for planning and coordinating structured age-appropriate activities, supportive services for children and their families, and transportation services for children at the J. Etta Hunter Building, awaiting placement for the period January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $57,500.
Good morning, Marcos Cortez with Health and Human Services on behalf of Children and Family Services. Again, this is a contract amendment with Family First Village to provide structured activities to children staying at the J. Etta Hunter Building. This service has been utilized more than anticipated, so we need to add the funds to continue to provide these services. This will take us to the end of the year based on current utilization.
Okay, thank you, Marcos. Are there any questions from the board?
Are there any changes within the services or expansion of the services?
No, there are no scope changes.
Any additional comments?
Did Family First have to go through some kind of restructuring because of the difficulties they had with the state authorities?
I am not aware of their difficulties, but I can find out.
Okay. Good.
Seeing no further questions, I will make a motion to approve the item. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Levine Ross. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item, please.
Next item, BC 2023-483, Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Children and Family Services, submitting an RFP exemption which will result in award recommendation to Bluestone Child and Adolescent Psychiatric Hospital in the amount not to exceed $31,800 for psychiatric hospital services for children for the period June 19, 2023 through June 18, 2024, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Good morning again. This is a contract to provide psychiatric assessment for children residing at J. Etta Hunter to determine their appropriateness for returning home.
Okay, Marcos, thank you. Any questions from the board?
Is the child still located at this
No,
placement?
she was there for 9 days, but returned to J. Etta. They're hoping that the assessment that they provided and the change of medication will allow her to return to her family home.
So just a quick question. This is going through June 18th, 2024. If the child is no longer located at till next year?
It's an option if they have other children that they need assessments for. So this funding is for this one specific child. So we would ask for additional funding if we send other children there.
Okay, any final questions on the item? Seeing none, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Nicole English. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item's approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-484, Department of Health and Human Services, Office of Child Support Services, requesting to amend board approval number BC 2023-19, dated January 9, 2023, which approved a grant award from the Department of Health and Human Services, Administration for Children and Families, Office of Child Support Enforcement in the amount of $117,666.66 to implement and enhance safe services to families in Cuyahoga County in connection with the Safe Access for Victims Economic Security Saves Demonstration Grant Program for the period September 1st, 2022 through August 31st, 2023, by changing the funding source from 66% federal funds and 34% Health and Human Services levy funds to 100% federal funds.
Marcos Cortez with Health and Human Services. The SAVES project will implement comprehensive domestic violence safety policies, procedures, outreach activities to enhance safety for victims of domestic violence in the child support program. Again, as you heard, this is just to modify the funding source. It is 100% federal funds.
Okay, thank you, Marcos. Any questions from the board on this item? Seeing none, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item's approved.
Thank you.
Moving on.
Moving on to consent agenda items, BC 2023-485 through BC 2023-486.
Okay, board members, just a couple short items here today. Councilman,
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
there's a motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Today's consent agenda item is approved. Moving on to other business.
We have two items under other business. First item, time sensitive and mission critical, BC 2023-487, Department of Public Works recommending an award and enter into a purchase order with Resaw Service LLC, DBA Resaw Power LLC, and the amount not to exceed $23,331.20 for an emergency service call for a field outage at the Justice Center.
Good morning, Matt Reimer with the Department of Public Works. This emergency occurred with an outage, a casualty to our high-voltage electrical distribution system to the courthouse on June 23rd of this year. Board members may recall that I briefed the Board of Control on Monday, June 26th, immediately after this occurred. This is the corresponding procurement item to pay the final invoicing.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Are there questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve the item. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Nicole English. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Next item is item of note, non-voted, item number 2. It's being amended to add additional language granting various authorities. Department of Health and Human Services, Community Initiatives Division, Office of Homeless Services, requesting authority to apply for grant funds from Ohio Development Services Agency in the amount of $1,985,300 for the Homeless Crisis Response Program for the period January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2025, requesting authority to designate Melissa Serac, Director of Cuyahoga County Office of Homeless Services, to prepare, execute, and submit all documents required in connection with submitting a proposal in connection with said grant.
Okay, Cheryl, correct me. If this is a non-voted, this is just an item of note?
Right,
Okay.
but we needed to correct it for the record. Mhm.
Okay, great. So that's been done. Any other business? No?
No other business?
Any public comment?
No public comment?
I will make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor to adjourn, say aye.
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 Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.